Hi, folks, and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob. And I'm delighted to have the guest I have today. He's a friend, he's a legend as far as I'm concerned, and he's a downright great guy. Some people don't like him because he's a hard-nosed guy, and the only people that don't like him are the people that don't do their job, I think. And his name is Charlie Lombardi, and he's the mayor of North Providence. How you doing, Charlie?
Doing very well, Bob, and thank you for the invitation. And you know my feeling toward you. I think you do a great job. Keep everyone informed, and that's the bottom line. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, you've been around the block. We're talking about age. We won't say age, but we won't say the years, but you've been you've been luxury cleaners before you were mayor.
We still are. But Bob, before we go on any further, I want to give you a gift from all of the residents of the town of North Providence.
My NP hat.
Because I know you live in Pawtucket, right over the line. But you're welcome, and you know, we just wanted to make sure that we afforded you a hat from our town. But you asked a question as far as our business, and our business, which is basically in Fairlawn on the North Providence Pawtucket line, is 76 years old this year.
Wow.
It's a family business. We have third generation there now. And I'm also proud to tell you that I go there every morning at 5:30.
5:30 in the morning.
Because I can't stop. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just the work ethic
I was just going to say
that my
that's
dad
exactly
instilled upon
right.
me. But are my children happy about it? I don't think so. But I have a good time.
Right.
I have a good time.
Right. I don't know that anyone, the younger generation that gets up as early as I do even, you know.
But I think it's all pertains to the way you've been brought up. I have a lady at the business, and we have 6 stores now, but lady...
Really? You have 6 locations?
And the lady that's been with me 45 years.
Wow.
Another lady 33 years, and a gentleman 27 years. So I think that speaks for...
It speaks volumes.
Yes, as to, you know, being fair. They're more than fair with me. And, you know, I think they'll say the same thing about us and my family as to how we respect them and appreciate what they do for us. And with us, by the way.
Right. And after, you ran for mayor how many times?
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah.
Against Sal Mancini.
Against Sal Mancini, against Mollis.
Right.
And then after that, there was an interim mayor that we thought that it'd be time that we give it another shot.
Right.
Because in my heart, Bob, growing up in the town, I knew that I could fix it.
Right.
And the
and you
numbers,
thought it was broken.
Yes, absolutely. I knew it was broken.
Yeah.
And I grew up there. I loved the town. And I said, I can fix this. I convinced the people on the 3rd run that we could do it. We did. And I'm proud to tell you that when we came here, we were 1 step above junk bond.
Right. What year was that when you came?
07.
07.
We were 1 step above junk bond. We were borrowing $10 million a year for cash flow. We didn't know where the money was going to come from for the next paycheck when I got there.
And when you borrow at that rate, when you're in junk bond status, your interest rate is much higher, right?
And we had a $10.5 million deficit.
Oh.
At the same time. Today, we have an $18.5 million surplus.
Wow.
We have $15 million available in cash, and we're A1 bond rated.
How many jumps is that from junk bond to A1?
Oh, at least, I want to say 7 or 8. Yeah, 7 or 8. And that wasn't easy, Bob. I'm not going to lie to you, but I think that anyone that came to this job, a guy like yourself, you bring business sense, you bring common sense, which you can't teach.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you got a little, I hate to put it this way, but if you got street sense, it's
yeah.
over.
Well, you put all three of them
Yeah,
together, you're in good shape.
Yes, and I think that's, when we came here, I said I'm going to run it like a business, and then you get the financial people. They come in, they try to advise you, and you need to claim bankruptcy. I said, what? They said, no, that's the easiest thing for you to do, Charlie, claim bankruptcy. And I'm thinking, by the way, of my family. I'm thinking about our business, and I'm saying my father will kill me.
Right, he turned over in his grave.
Just became mayor. My father was living at the time also.
Oh, he was? Oh.
My son became mayor. He claimed bankruptcy.
Oh, God.
So, we went to the taxpayers, and I explained to them that, hey, look, do you want to be the person that, you'll always not be able to say, but that you lived in a town that claimed bankruptcy? And by the way, we raised the taxes one year, Bob, 11%.
Ooh.
But we convinced the taxpayers this was the right thing to do to become solvent.
Right.
So it took us a while, but today we're in great shape. And we have a great police department. We have the only Class 1 ISO, Insurance Services Organization, Class 1 fire department in the state, one of only 64 in the country.
Now, how do you classify that? How does that happen?
Well, I'm going to give you a little story on that too, Bob. So we closed a fire station on Douglas Avenue.
Oh, I know, that caused a riot, didn't it?
And by the way,
an uproar.
And the firefighters at that time were passing brochures out into all the neighborhoods. They had the picture of the fire station and my picture.
Right.
Telling the taxpayers, if he closes this station, you're going to die.
Right.
Now, keep in mind, Bob, I drove those trucks for 21 years.
Oh, you did?
Out of that station at Middle Spring and Charles and Maryville Station, I knew how fast we could get into that neighborhood where I was closing the station. And there was no rescue truck in the house, just an engine company.
Right.
So, did we take some heat for it? Yes. So after we closed the station, because I knew the station wasn't needed, and by the way, no one lost a job.
Oh, really?
So I'm saying, what are we fighting about?
Right.
You're
right.
not losing
what
a
were
job.
They, what were they fighting
Well,
about?
I think it's a situation where, and I tried to explain to the firefighters, you forgot why you're here. Well, what do you mean by that? You're here to run to the calls, not to try to run the fire department. We'll take care of that. That being the case, closed the station, no one lost a job, and here we are. 2 years later, I had told the fire chief I want to be the best fire department in the state. The questions from the ISO is, how many trucks you send into that particular call, how much water you responded with, what's the diameter of the hose, your dispatching services, the whole gamut. We were able to convince them that we were the best fire department in the state. Now, then I would tell the firefighters, excuse me, I closed the fire station and I made you a better fire department. So, what do you say to that?
Right, yeah.
But it was the right thing to do, and I wasn't going to close a fire station, Bob, and jeopardize anyone's public safety.
Yep.
It's not my style, especially when you came from a very, very active volunteer fire service, is what
Right,
I
because
did.
that was a volunteer fire department.
And by the
when
way,
I
I was one of the most
that
active.
was Maryville, right?
Maryville, right. I was one of the most active volunteers in the town and in that station.
Right.
So I know how quick I can get there, but I also knew that station was going to cost the taxpayers a lot of money. Now think about this, Bob. 5 years later, we got the new public safety complex across the street from the high school.
Right.
The station would have closed. That station would have closed. It was at the bottom of the hill.
Right.
So when the firefighters say, we get into a discussion on the station, I said, okay, so what would have happened with that station, with this new station now? Oh, it would have closed. I said, well, no problem. I was just 5 years early.
Right, yeah.
So again, it just proved that it was a decision that we made that wasn't jeopardizing anyone's public safety. But it's just that those are the decisions I think that you have to make, and you have to be comfortable in not make them politically. If I was a true politician, I would have never closed that station.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Most politicians wouldn't dare take on the fire department.
And today,
they won't dare.
And today, being a Pawtucket native, so to say, you know, communities today, Bob, our salvation is regionalization.
Right.
Joining services.
Right.
We, us, in the city of Pawtucket.
Right. Join forces with the
Fire dispatch.
Right.
We dispatch all the city of Pawtucket's fire and rescue calls. Now, the city of Pawtucket saved approximately $90,000. We saved about 35 or 40. But think about that.
Right.
$140,000 of savings in one merger.
Right.
Right now, we're building a new animal control shelter. North Providence, Johnston, Smithfield.
Yep.
A tri-town animal control.
Wait a minute. What about Pawtucket?
Well, Pawtucket has a very, very nice
facility.
Yeah, up in Slater there. So we needed a new shelter. I convinced Smithfield and Johnston
Right.
to become part of this shelter.
Sure.
Now, we're all going to save money. And it's going to be a state-of-the-art, similar to Pawtucket's,
Right.
brand new animal shelter.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
but again, you know, so we're going to build a new shelter, say at you know, $1.5 million, $2 million, and Johnston's going to build one, and Smithfield's going to build one.
Right.
And, you know, we joined.
You just put it all together.
Yes, yeah. That's.
So you don't have to have the electric bills or gas bills on for three.
And
by
the way, all of the animal control officers will be working out of the same facility.
Right.
And in the end, you know, as you know, an officer retires, you know,
don't have to fill. But you're not laying anybody off.
No. Since I've been here in the town, we haven't laid off one individual.
Really?
Yep. Through attrition. You know, our DPW, when we came here, we were 33 individuals. We're down to 21 now when we're getting the job done. That's 12 positions, Bob.
Right. That left.
Right. Our problem in North Providence is that we don't have a land mass. You see, we can't attract big business.
Right.
You take like Johnston, just got Amazon.
Yep.
You know, just the permit fees, I think were $5 million.
Wow.
Now, let's think about when the building's completed and it's occupied. What services does the town have to provide? No education.
Right.
Maybe a rescue call now and then. Someone may have dropped a box on their foot.
Right. Yeah.
But other than that, it's all revenue coming into the town.
Right.
We
Without
don't have
a
that.
lot of outlay.
We don't have the availability of that because of the land. But our success has been, you know, continually doing more with less.
Doing more what you got.
Yep. But I'm not gonna, you know, after a while though, Bob, that'll run out because, you know, how many buildings could you continually knock down to build a new building or knock down, you know, a number of homes on a busy street like Middle Spring Avenue
Right.
to bring new business in. And after a while, it'll become an issue. I can see it. But right now, we've been very successful. We just sent out our 9th tax bill without a tax increase.
Really? 9th year? 9th year?
Yep. Yes.
Wow.
So we're okay. And by the way, I love my job. I love what I
There's
do.
no doubt about that.
I love what I do, and you know, as long as my health holds out,
Yep.
and I'll continue to do what I do. You take like our DPW, and I you know, I'm not bragging, but look, we haven't bought a new truck in 15 years. I buy those like I call it a furniture truck, like a Cardi's furniture truck.
Right.
We sell the body, we cut the frame, we put a dump body on that truck, and a plow. We're building that truck for maybe $34,000.
Wait a minute. You buy a brand new truck?
No, we buy a used, like a van, like a Cotty's furniture van.
Right.
We sell the body, $1,800, maybe $2,000.
Take the body right off
Right,
it.
and we cut the frame, shorten the frame.
Right.
Put a dump body
Right.
on there and a plow on the front. We've built so far 10 of those trucks in-house.
Wow.
So that truck stands us all done, besides buying it, maybe $34,000-$35,000.
That's
that
a
truck
$60,000,
brand new.
$70,000.
Oh, no,
More.
115.
Huh?
115.
115. 115.
Yeah. But the other thing is the advantage now, the other side of that, Bob, is the advantage we have is we're only 5.2 square miles.
Right.
So it's going to take a while for us to burn that truck out or wear it out, so to say.
Right.
You know, we've done the same thing with a couple of rescue trucks.
Well, before you go any further, how'd you come up with that idea? Who come up with that
I'm basically
idea?
a motorhead.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I love, accomplishing, not a deal, but saving money in that. Everyone will tell you, I'm a frugal guy. And the word around town is, don't even ask them. And I think there's where we've saved, quite a bit of money. So, you take like our rescue trucks. The last 3 rescue trucks I bought, we've bought from the rich volunteer fire departments in Maryland, Virginia, upstate Pennsylvania.
Right.
Because think about it, they don't pay manpower, Bob. So they buy trucks.
Top of the line.
And that they really don't need.
Right.
Or maybe 3 or 4 years early. So we take advantage of that because think about this. We have a hospital in town. Our average rescue call may be 6 to 7 miles. That's it.
That's it. Right. You're not running all
So
over
why
the place.
do I need to go buy a new rescue truck that's the bare minimum right now is about $225.
Wow.
So if I can buy that used truck, by the way, for maybe $50,000,
Nice.
we'll use it for 5 or 6 years.
Sure.
And there's where we've accomplished.
That's using common sense. There's your common sense right there.
There's where we've made up that difference of not being able to attract big business
Right.
for revenue. Whether you're taking revenue in or where you're saving it on this side of the coin, basically the same.
Right.
Those are the things that we've done to try to, keep the taxes down.
And that makes sense.
It does. To me, it does. To some people, what are you doing that for? But I know one thing. In the end, when we send that tax bill out to you and it's short on the increase or there's no increase at all, then that's the name of the game.
I mean, to buy something like you said for 50 G's instead of paying $225 for it, that's huge.
Yeah.
And I know that for sure because my son lives in Jamestown and they have a volunteer fire department.
Yeah,
in
nice.
Jamestown.
They got a good department.
And they have the best of everything because they don't
have to pay.
no
Listen,
manpower.
our fire budget right now is $9.2 million.
Million. And their Jamestown budget for employees is nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
But
not that they pay the. I
They
think
probably
pay
the
chief.
rescue guys.
The rescue and the chief.
Yeah, see, because 80% of your alarms are medical today.
Right.
Not fire.
Right.
Medical. Do we get some fires? Absolutely. But the majority are the costs of the fire on the rescue. Look, we just had to put a 3rd rescue into service.
Really?
We had to add a 3rd rescue, but I'll tell you an interesting story. When we closed that fire station, the study said...
You're talking about the fire station?
On Douglas Avenue.
Douglas Avenue.
The study said that we had an engine company that we didn't really need.
Right.
It was down in Maryville. I never shut the truck.
Right.
Kept it running. Now comes a time about 3 years later or 4 years later where we identified that 400 rescue calls we needed out-of-town help. We help Pawtucket, they help us. We help Providence, they help us. They call that mutual aid.
Yep.
But 400 calls. Now I'm thinking, by the way, my frugality is telling me that you can bill for those rescue calls today.
Right, right.
So I'm saying to myself, oh, I lost money here.
Yep.
But on the other
You're,
side
you're
of the
doing
coin,
more rescues than you're getting.
so now, by the way, I'm saying, okay, but let's look at the real situation. Those 400 calls in town, people had to wait another 10, 12 to 15 minutes for an out-of-town rescue truck to come. Not good. I rode those trucks. So, the rule of thumb would have been to hire 8 additional
Firemen.
firefighters and then deal with the overtime later to man that additional rescue truck.
Right.
I didn't do that. I shut down that fire truck that the survey and the
Said you
report
didn't
said I
need.
really didn't need.
And you put them on the
And I
rescue?
redeployed those fellas to man the additional rescue truck.
Now, what, those firemen, do they have to go on the rescue?
Well, you can't get a job in mostly any fire department in the state if you're not a certified.
EMT?
Yeah.
But they can't they like bow off it? And like,
Well, that becomes a bid situation within
Right,
the union,
union
a
thing.
seniority situation, you know? And the guys were, they were okay. Did they like it? No. But we worked it out, and we put the third rescue in service, and the third, and those 3 fellas that were on that engine company were moved to address the demand. As I stated to you before, Bob, 80% of the calls are rescue calls.
Of course, yeah.
So think about that. To hire 8 additional firefighters with all the benefits is
Yeah,
roughly
oh,
about
God.
$600,000.
Sure.
Now, then you don't know what the overtime would
I was
be.
just going to say that.
So that, coupled with the fact that in the first year, how much revenue you think we got from that third rescue? $110,000. So Bob, that's like a $700,000 swing.
Yeah.
If you're a politician, you aren't going to do what I did.
Right.
You'd
Right.
be afraid, they're going to say that. But the interesting thing, is that, and I discuss it with the firefighters, I go right in the fire station, sit down and say, okay, what's the problem? Why are we debating this?
Right.
Well, Mayor, you shut down that truck down Maryville, and if we get a good building fire down there, we're going to be short a truck. I said, no. Oh, and our second truck now needs to come from the new station, and the third truck needs to come from Fruit Hill up there in the back of Rhode Island College. I said, but you're forgetting one thing. You got a truck not even a half a mile away. What do you mean? I said, it might say Pawtucket on it, but there's a truck over there.
No kidding. That's right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I said,
Fairlawn.
so let me ask you this. Do you care what the fire truck says on it when it pulls in front of your house?
Right.
Not me, as long as it's carrying
As
water
long
and
as it's doing-
oxygen.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. So the
So-
Fairlawn Fire, the one on Smithfield Avenue, right?
Yep. And by the way, we are close to them in that whole Fairlawn
Same
area.
thing, yeah.
And Don Grebian's been a great partner in, addressing public safety needs. And I had said to him, and we laugh, do you care what the truck says on it when it pulls in front of your house?
Right.
Not me. So this is where I want to go back to the regionalization, Bob.
Right.
Is the community's salvation.
Well, that's what Dan McKee.
Oh, absolutely.
Was very big into that when he was the mayor of
Absolutely.
Cumberland.
By the way, and Dan McKee, when he became when I became the mayor, and he was one of the first calls I received, he said, you got to become part of, the mayors, managers, and administrators. And so one of the first things that happened with me was, I said, by the way, how many police officers do you have? Don't hold me to them. I think he said 48. I said, yeah, so how big's your town? They're like 28 square miles. I said, and how many people live in your town? Same as us, 34,000.
Right.
Same. I said, oh, no, I'm thinking, we have 72 police officers.
But much smaller.
5.2 square miles.
Right, not even close.
34,000 people, 5. So in the first negotiation, right, we made the move to go to 60. 12 people.
Right.
So We then went back and forth with the union, and they agreed for 1 year to go to 61. Okay, 1 year. Now, everything went fine, but now they don't want to make that permanent.
Right.
So we split the baby, and we went to 65 officers. But think about this, Bob. 6 to 7 salaries we saved. And that happened because, you know, Dania called me, let's get together. And that was the first...
he was a frugal guy, too.
Oh, yeah. First advantage that we got from, you know, that call, per se.
Right.
You know what I mean to say? And we've done a lot of things together. Just the mere fact of sitting around the table, talking about the problem you may have had, now I've got it.
Yep.
Or I may have had, now you got it. How'd you straighten that out? Just the communications back and forth.
Yep.
And by the way, you want to talk about the regionalization of dispatch. We tried to, at that time, to take over think about this, 295, they got the visitor center.
Which is...
It's 2 miles going out of town. It should be
I
on the
don't get
opposite
it.
side of the road.
Why?
Whoever
Does
built-
anybody know why that happened? Why do you put a visitor center
Should be
as
on-
you're leaving?
The state.
It makes no sense whatsoever. I tried
Common
to
sense.
buy that, you know.
Common sense.
I was going to buy that.
Is that right?
Yeah. Build
So,
the apartments.
And we tried, and there were a couple of communities at the time, and the first meeting was in our town hall. Oh, that could never happen. So, and there was a little bit of a pushback. When we were building this new public safety complex, I had said to our IT director, and I have one of the best guys in the state, I hope so, Pawtucket too. I said, I want it to be big enough because my goal is for the regional dispatch to be there.
Yep.
Top of the hill, Bob.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good radio communication.
Much better.
So, and we're working on that.
I think of that tower. What's that building over there that's on the very top?
Oh, the
of it?
water. That's the
That's
Providence Water Tower,
water.
yeah. So, I mean, those are the things I think you need to have vision, foresight.
Right.
But it's not easy at times to, you know, look, you need to have the courage to say no when no needs to be said.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's helped us out a great, great deal, you know, and gotten us to where we are now. So we're doing all right.
Well, that's for sure. There's no doubt about that.
And I think I told you this a little while ago. I have a good time, and that's why it's easy for me to answer these questions as to, okay, what's going on. I mean, you know, now we're going to put before the people to see if a bond will be approved to address 3 elementary schools.
Wow.
Now, 4 years ago, during my election,
Yep.
right, I begged the people to support the $75 million bond to build 2 new elementary schools. And I said, look, if you don't vote for me, vote for the schools. It's our future. It's the right thing to do.
Right.
Now, at the end, after that election, the vote to support the 2 new elementary schools or that bond, and my vote was only 400 votes difference.
Really?
So now we're going to go back to the people.
Wait a minute. It didn't win?
Oh, yeah, it won.
Oh, it did win?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it won, I forget the percentage, like 70%. But I think if you explain anything in spending, if you explain it properly.
Exactly. Or if you tell them what
you know,
exactly is going on.
And it's not something that you're trying to do that's foolish.
Right.
It's education.
Or underhanded.
So, you know, and the other thing is now, I think one of the big projects is going to be to revitalize that whole Centerdale area.
Right.
You know, we got some, you know, a couple of people investing some money there. Our problem there, Bob, is parking.
Exactly.
So we have the school administration building that's there. That's going to come down.
Right. How about a parking garage?
56 spaces will pick up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then, you know, maybe it becomes a second level at some point. I'm not positive right now. I don't want to say something I'm not sure of.
Right.
But, and that's how this all happened with the 3 new elementary schools. The school department reads that, I told them, you're gone. We're knocking your building down.
Really?
We need parking to revitalize the business district. So we had another building we were going to put the school administration in. That temple, when you come out around the bypass heading toward Johnston on 44, and all of a sudden I get the visit. Do you know that if we do the right thing to address our school needs, we can get 80% reimbursement? Well, as a business guy, that got my attention.
That's nice.
Yeah, that got
That's
my
nice.
attention. So, you know, now we're talking about 3 new elementary schools. By the way, it's about
And only have to pay 20% of the nut?
right. So if we're asking the people to approve.
Wow.
We're asking the people to approve a $125 million bond, right? That it's gonna cost us 25 in the end, over the
Right.
next 20 years. But keep in mind, Bob, we don't have a money problem. We got 18 of that already in surplus.
Right.
Now, do we wanna spend it? No. But the fact of the matter is, and we're not sure that it's gonna be, we think it's gonna be about 105. But you never know the pricing that's gonna go up over the next couple of years. So we're saying a maximum of 125
To build.
to build the 3 new elementary schools. But the good thing about that is those 3 new elementary schools can be built on the same property that the schools are on now. Now think about this. We don't have to rent any swing space. Kids don't have to get bused to another
Away
location.
from somewhere else, right.
They're gonna stay in that building.
They say, and they build on,
The
what,
new
on the
building's
parking
gonna be-
lots?
Well, because they were on pretty decent parcels of
Right,
land.
right.
So now, once the buildings are complete,
Then you
you're
tear
gonna
down
move
the old
into the
building.
new building, tear
Tear
down the old building. So you don't upset
The kids, first of
and
all.
the parents
Right.
and my son, my daughter. So
You're not moving them. You're not moving them, like you said, you're not busing them to some other school or something.
no,
Right?
and we had to do that in the last 2 elementary schools.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So and by the way, then we ended up at that point we closed the Maryville school because it needed a lot of money at that time, and those kids got relocated to Stephen Only and Wayland, which wasn't bad. But good thing about that is, oh, what are we gonna do with that building, Maryville, and knock it down? I said no. I rented it for $15,000 a month.
You're doing the opposite of what most government officials do. They rent buildings instead of
But that's been
receiving
part
money.
of our salvation, so to say. You know, by doing things such as that, not buying the new vehicles, renting
Right.
property. You know, just trying to garner additional revenue wherever we can. And we've been successful at that. But as I said to you before, not to, mislead you. After a while, that runs out.
Right, yeah.
It runs out.
How many grammar schools are in North Providence?
We have 5, but we have 2 middle schools
Right,
and the high school.
just one high school.
Yeah.
Well, the high school is new, right?
High school's fairly new, but even now with this new program as to how we're going to spend this money, there's a few things that we want to address there. And the administration now building, right? There's going to be an addition put on the back of the high school, and administration will move there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But 80% return,
Right, yeah. Yeah,
you can't pass that up. You
no,
cannot. You get scared, you think 125 million, and I get scared.
no.
But I think in the long run, Bob, I'll tell you this, we're almost 99% developed in town.
Right,
We addressed these 3 new elementary schools, we already did 2. So these 3.
so now you're
And the
all
2
done.
And the 2, yes, right, and the 2 middle schools and the high school, it's over. Because it's not a situation where, you think some of the other communities, Cumberland, nothing but space. Lincoln, space. Smithfield,
Space,
Johnston,
yeah.
space. So we're done. So, communities such as that, and hey, by the way, I wish I was Johnson with the revenue, but you're a developer, you come in and say, okay, I'm gonna build 25 new homes here. Think about this. 2.5 children per home.
Right,
Say only 2. Say it's 25 new homes, that's
50 kids,
children at 15,000 per student.
right,
We had a couple of pieces of property in town. It was behind where Providence Picture Frame just moved. There used to be a
Right.
furniture store.
Yep.
4 acres. and we had another parcel of land down on the side of 146. Between those two parcels, we're talking about 40 new homes. Now, I said to the council, we need to buy this property. It's a 4-year payback. What do you mean by that? I said, if we don't need them, and we could use them for additional recreation, and that's what we're doing. I said, if we don't use them, what do you mean by that? 80 children.
At 15 G's apiece.
Think about it. Think about it. Now you just let the property go and you're building, I don't know, 25 houses on one parcel, 15 on the other, and then then you have to address the education.
Right.
See, we're not going to have that problem. I'll bet you if you were to look around town, there's no more than 20 available lots for single-family dwellings.
Right.
So, those are the things that are going to save us down the road.
Yep.
But if you don't have the
foresight.
vision,
Yep.
then, you're done. And then you say, oh, don't worry about it. Venturini, he'll take care of it in 20 years. Let somebody else take care of it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, look, all I want is my grandkids, when they get big, I want people to say, your grandfather, he was pretty sharp.
Exactly.
That's all I care about.
Exactly.
That's all I care about. Camp Meehan on the other side of Naughty Park on Route 7 there.
I know. Oh, I got to talk to you about that area.
So Naughty Park is roughly 18 acres. Lincoln buys, through this capital improvement program, they buy 38 acres. There's 19 acres going up the middle. Before I come here, the people that were here had a deal to build 48 condos in there. I'm saying, we got the 18 there, there's 19 here, there's vacancy of 38 on this side. Why aren't we protecting this for our kids, their kids, and their kids? Unless you're trying to, let me get this off my chest, unless you're trying to make some money.
Right.
So, we stopped it dead.
Right.
And we didn't have the money. Not gonna lie to you. All I know is I need to protect that property. So we go to a DEM. They have the open space money.
Yep.
So I'm down there arguing that I should be on top of the list because we have the least amount of open space left in the state.
Exactly. Yeah.
I said, you want to give the money to Exeter, West Greenwich?
Right. Yeah.
I convinced them, right?
Yeah.
So first hit we get was 500,000. Then we get 400. Then the Rhode Island Foundation helped us out. Then the Champlain Foundation helped us out, right?
Yeah.
And we put the new roads in. We did the building over, and so then I said to the finance director at the time, and she's still here. I said, I want you to put that all in a separate account. She said, why is that? I said, because I'm going to make that property self-sustainable. Because I could see it, that building that we did over up there used to be a camp building. It's on the water, Bob.
Right.
When you go there, you don't know where you are.
Really?
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's booked for 2 years.
Wait a minute.
Weddings.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Oh,
Yeah. Exactly.
It's booked for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, bottom line is, I think besides bringing the finances in order in town, that's the second best thing we could have ever did was to protect that property.
Right.
There's an amphitheater there now. There's a gazebo. It's gorgeous.
No, that's right on Route 7.
Yeah, down by, on the side of the Knights of Columbus Hall.
Right.
You go down the road,
Yep.
comes around, you drive up there, go there, Bob, you can't believe it's gorgeous.
Well, they were doing construction over there, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago.
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah, on the road, yeah.
And I'm coming down the road, and I hit a giant pothole.
Oh, yeah, it's a state road.
I know. That's why I didn't bother you, because it was a state road. I hit a huge pothole.
Yeah.
Blew out my tire, flattened the rim.
Yeah.
I see a cop. I reported it to the
Oh, they'll
police
reimburse you.
department.
You gotta fill out a report and you send it to the state, to the claims. It'll take a little while, but they'll fix that. Or they'll reimburse you for the rim and the tire.
Oh, it was worse than that. It blew the strut out and
Yeah,
everything else.
whatever. But as long as
It's
you
a
get
mess.
a bona fide shop, and they'll take care of it. But when you get a chance, Go there, go down the side of the Knights of Columbus, the road comes around.
Right.
We have the old,
Now, wait a minute, if I'm going away from Middle Spring Avenue.
it's on the right.
It's on the right, yeah,
Make a right.
Yeah,
Make
it
a-
goes down the hill.
Yep, in the
Yeah.
back. You know, we have the stone building that used to be the part of the mills down there. Water was the water supply for the mills. Then it comes around, we have our recreation office down there, but then as you drive up through the woods, we put those roads in. It's gorgeous.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's gorgeous. And, you know, those are the things, Bob, that, you know, we've gotten done for short money. Then I get this fella that comes to me one day, comes in my office, retired educator from the city of Providence. And he says to me, you know, you need up there? I said, what's that? He said, you need a marine trades program, building boats. So I swear to God, Bob, I'm looking at this fella and I'm saying to myself, where's he think he is in Newport on Narragansett?
I'm a lane straight.
Yeah, I said, I think he's in Newport on Narragansett. But you know when you're talking to someone, you could feel a passion.
Right,
in their
that they
voice?
have, yeah.
So I said, we need to go to the school department. So we go up to the school department, and I want to say that's 7 years ago.
Right.
Let me tell you something. We started off in the middle schools. Then it went to the high school, and it's part of their graduation.
Cut it out, really?
We've built maybe 18, 20 boats so far. They have a regatta on the pond now. They just had it last week.
Cut it out.
And the best part about all this, Bob, we've already gotten a few kids jobs at the boat building company down in Bristol.
I had one boat builder down on the show here from Bristol.
So we've gotten kids jobs. Now the next part of that program, Bob, is going to be welding. We're going to put up,
Right.
through this new school bond, we're going to put up a building down behind the high school because that's where the boat building program is. They can walk out. I want to put a metal building out there. We met with the people from the boat company down there in Groton and down in Quonset.
Right.
They'll help us. I want to get these kids into welding.
Sure.
Do you know how many jobs they hire?
And they make big money.
And my
Those guys
business
make-
sense tells me that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we would like to think every student's going to go to college. That's not happening.
That's not happening. Plus, they go to a trade, they don't have a big bill. They don't have a $200,000 bill.
No, you're so right. So that being the case, now what happened was we then applied to the Champlain Foundation.
Right.
They gave us $200,000 to put a new building up Camp Meehan for the boat building program.
Wow.
So the building's gorgeous. So the front part of the building, the first 12 feet in the front, we got a concession stand. So the kids run it. They get their little entrepreneurship.
Right.
It's perfect. It's you
And
gotta
that's
go up
on
there.
the same property. That's
Yeah,
on that
yeah.
same
When you
property.
go up there, the first building on your left, you'll see is the Marine Trades building with the
Right.
concession stand. Then as you go up a little further to the left, you're overlooking the water, and then there's the Camp Meehan. We call it the Overlook. The Overlook, and you know it's nice.
Now, what waterway is over there? What is that? Is
They
that
call that Twin Rivers.
it is Twin River. I was going to say
Twin
that.
River,
I wasn't
But
sure.
again, when you go up there, you sit in this building, and the way we built it, all the doors open. There's a big deck out there.
Yeah.
The water fountain going.
Oh, yeah?
You don't even know where you are.
Really?
No, it's really nice. So, I mean, those are the things that you can boast about. That, look, could have been 48 condos. Oh, no.
Right.
No,
Right.
not happening. So those are the things what we're doing.
And
all
like you said, not only it could have been 48 condos, it could have been 80 kids, 120 kids.
Yep, on the other two pieces of property.
Right.
So right now, we're, it's the day-to-day issues that we have to take care of, but as far as the big money, we're in good shape. Good shape.
And you've stayed out of trouble lately, right? You haven't been in any trouble. have you?
Yeah, I've been, you know, the bottom line over there, Bob, is yeah, we have. I think everybody's used to the business mentality.
Yeah, they finally got it, I think, right?
Business mentality. And by the way, we just settled a nice contract with the police officers. We settled a nice contract with the firefighters.
Really?
We just settled a nice contract with our DPW people, and we're working on the last contract right now, as we speak, with our town hall workers, our dispatchers.
Janitors and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, no, most of the janitors are on the school side, you know. But, yeah, there are a few janitors in our, you know,
City
the
Hall?
town hall and at the police and fire stations still, you know.
Right.
But not many. As far as the janitors in the schools, that's part of the school contract.
Right, right.
And now the other big thing that's going on right now with us, Bob, is that when we did those 2 elementary schools, we finished the job early, and we have $4 million left over.
Wow.
So, again, my frugality, I call the financial people and I say, look, I'm going to send that money back so I can save on the interest. Don't do it. I said, why? He said, you borrowed the money
Right.
so short, spend it. Now, keep in mind, our high school.
What do
this
you
is-
mean? Because you're only paying 20% of
Yeah,
the money,
we're,
right?
yeah, no, that was a separate bond money. But we borrowed, I think, at like a 3%.
Right.
So they're saying, look, you're better off, you got needs for it.
Use it.
Got to be used for school. I went, oh, this is easy. Our high school football field was a mess. And the reason why it was such a mess, Bob, is because it got too much play. It was the only field we had. Never got a shot to rejuvenate.
Sure.
Mud, you know? So we knew people were complaining, but I want to tell you what really got me. I was at my daughter's house one night, and one of her best friends, this guy's got a big job at Mohegan Sun. He said, Charlie, you know, I got to tell you something. I said, what's that? He said, I took Ray to play football at your football field. That place is a mess.
Wow.
That got my attention.
Yeah.
So when the financial people said, just spend it, it's going to be finished the first of the month.
Really? Yeah.
It is magnificent turf.
Yeah.
The cougar, the big cougar in the middle of the field.
Wait a minute. It's not going to be sod. It's turf.
Turf.
Really?
And so then what happened was, as soon as the word got out we were going to do the new football field, then here comes the guys from baseball, because the baseball field is right on the side of it. Okay? What about us? So once we looked at the numbers, we had probably,
80,000 left.
no, we had about 750.
I was close.
You said 80,000.
80,000.
No, 750,000.
Oh, 750,000. Oh,
So
800. Yeah,
in
okay.
any case, we got the company back in. They've been playing, you got to check it out. They've been playing on that baseball field now for about 2 months. Bob, the whole infield's done. All turf. It is, the Babe Ruth League is playing there now. It's magnificent.
Really?
But the football field, I was there yesterday, is really, they said it's going to be done by the first of the month.
Wow.
Yeah. So the first game probably played up there.
And how long is that expected to last, that field?
About 20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But here's the point. Might last even a little bit longer, because those other couple of properties that we bought that I told you about,
Right.
we're getting them ready for to be used as recreation.
Right.
So it'll take some of the wear and tear off that field
Right.
and go down there.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so it's working out all right. I know it might sound like I'm like, I don't know, bragging, but maybe,
Well, if you
maybe
can't-
I am though, Bob. but
Right.
So much has been accomplished and done. That's it.
I told you, one of my good friends said to me, that guy is my idol. I said, well,
Yeah.
you talk to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, that guy gets things done.
Those are the things that, hey, look, we went there, Bob. So assessor's office was downstairs, collector's office was upstairs, and they do a lot of interaction. The assessor's
Right,
office.
right.
Oh, no, you got to go downstairs to assessors. No, somebody's downstairs. Oh, no, you
Gotta
want to
go
be upstairs.
Yeah.
So I had heard enough of that, and the collector was retiring.
Good time to move him.
So I called contractor up. I said, how much is it gonna cost me to put a beam in that wall? It was a supporting wall.
Right.
He said, well, what are you trying to do? I said, I'm gonna knock that wall down. The collectors are there. I want the assessors to be here, and I want it to be one office.
Right.
We put a window out in the front here to match the window of the collector's office. I said, how much is it gonna cost me? He said, that's gonna cost you big money. I said, well, how much? They had to get a beam like this, Bob. He says, it's probably gonna cost you about $45,000. I said, all right, do it. We went out to bid, do it. Because I knew the lady that was retiring, she was a 75.
Right.
I knew that the person that was the assessor
Right.
was not gonna become the collector, and I gotta give that person a 20G hit. After the first year, it's a savings every year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So now it's all in one office. You need the assessor, you need the collector. Right
They're
next to each
next
other.
door to each other.
But it was a hit in the first year. Well, actually, it wasn't that much of a hit in the first year, but now it's all savings.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's all savings, Bob. But
and
those are the
they're
things
both on the same floor too.
next to
Right.
each other. And those are the things, I mean, that when you see it, you go, oh, man, why is that like that? And then people are going to go downstairs. They're going to go upstairs.
When are you going to build a new city hall?
No, the town hall's in nice shape. We came there, I'm glad you mentioned that. We came there, you walk in, Bob. The stairs, you come in the front door, you make a right, now you gotta make another right, go upstairs to the council chambers.
Right.
It was embarrassing. And then when you got to the top, the ceiling was all broke, falling a little bit.
Oh.
About a month later, we go to a meeting, a little piece of plaster hit a guy in the head.
No.
So now here's where we get to politics. So I call a contractor in, fix it. Oh, wait a minute, he didn't even go out to bid. I said, listen, as far as
It's
I'm
an
concerned, it's
emergency.
dangerous.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we fixed it, and that got by. But you know, you get all these people, they think they know it all. But when you come in that town hall now, Bob, it's pretty, it's clean. How can I tell you in your property or send the inspector to your house? Go to Venturini's, tell them to clean up.
When
Because
you're not-
if I'm you, I'm coming to the town hall, so you want me.
You
What
want
are you
me-
doing?
Yeah, look at
What are
you.
you doing?
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's do as I do, not do as I say.
Exactly, Mike.
So no one
Yeah.
could come in there, and we come, and by the way, we've been citing quite a few people because they don't keep their property up, Bob.
Right. Yeah.
So
Well, that's what I don't like. When people don't keep their property.
you're keeping yours up, I'm keeping mine up, and the guy in the middle, he's just,
Yeah. That bothers me.
we don't allow that, and we have two minimum housing inspectors out there.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Drive by, you got a couple of unregistered cars in your yard, we're gonna give you 77 days.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm lucky. It's lucky they get that much.
No, we give them the opportunity, but you gotta clean it up.
You know, I learned a trick. In fact, I do it. I go all the way up my street. If I take a sawzall with a long blade, and I go in between the curb and the sidewalk, and the cement sidewalk with it, and I cut out not only the weeds, but the roots to the weeds. And if you
sometimes
spray them, they come right back.
Yeah, the trees, sometimes they planted those trees like they did it
How
on Powell Road.
stupid is that?
They planted trees on Powell Road, Bob, and I'm saying to myself, okay, 20 years later, it's pulling up all the sidewalks. So where was the fella, didn't anyone think about planting a tree that the
With a
ball-
cylinder.
Yeah.
Put it in a cylinder so it forces it down. All it would have cost is another $10 to buy the cardboard cylinder
Yeah.
that forces the tree down. That's all they had to do.
That's that common sense.
Exactly. And I told them in Pawtucket years ago when they were planting trees. And the other thing, they were planting trees in Pawtucket years ago. They were planting them on the side of the street where the wires were.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Why don't you plant them on the other side of the street where the wires are not? Again, it's common
Yeah,
sense.
because then
way.
you gotta trim them there
Right.
for the wires.
For the wires. Whereas on the other side of the street, you don't. Well, that goes to the same thing with the thing that gets me is that visitor center. That's
Oh, yeah.
$7 million that visitor center's cost
I
to
could
build.
never understand that.
To this day.
Who made this decision?
To this day, I have no understanding of why that was built like that.
Well, you know, those are the things that,
Pull in there, stop in there, and you can get a brochure on where to go in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
As you're leaving. As you're leaving the state.
I don't know.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Well,
Well, if that was in North Providence, that wouldn't happen.
we're trying, you know, I can only, you know, someone called me today on something, and I said to him, well, I said to this fella, I said, well, that was BC. He said, what do you mean? I said, before Charlie.
That's a good one.
So he started to laugh. He said, no, you're right, it was. I said, well, let's see if we can help you.
Right.
You know, try to straighten it out. And right now, we got a good council that we work with. Things are getting done. There's no political nonsense.
Right.
And that's very, very important to move.
Oh, harmony's important.
Yeah, and it really, really is. So, I mean, those are the... And by the way, how could you see the things that are going on in town, how could you be...
How can you beef?
Yeah,
right?
see, you need an issue,
Right.
but you can't create an issue.
Right.
There's got to be an issue.
Right. You can't manufacture one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that fire station on
Douglas?
Douglas, what did you do with it?
$2,500 a month.
That's what you get for it?
Right now, we have between that school that I told you about,
Right.
a couple of other pieces of property, and then, you know, I'll give you one up next to the landfill that we had closed that we put solar on,
Right.
right? The fellow next door is an older car fella that crushes cars and stuff.
Right.
Auto salvage. So someone said, hey, you know, I think he's looking for some land up there. I said, oh, no kidding. So I go up there and visit him. Because I don't want him to leave, right?
Yeah.
We need his taxes.
Right. Right.
So he said, yeah, I could use a couple of acres. I said, no problem. Renting him a couple of acres. Another couple of grand. I think right now we got maybe about $26,000 a month coming in on rental
Nice.
or leases or whatever.
Right. That's nice.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, that's smart business. That's what that is. But a lot of politicians don't have business sense. That's the problem.
I can tell you this because, as you know, Bob, I'm the president of the League of Cities and Towns. And I haven't met one mayor, manager, or administrator right now that doesn't do what's best for their community.
Well, that's good.
No, I can tell you that. I really, really haven't. We help each other.
Yeah. Well, that's important, and I'm glad that we're done. We got to wrap up. We're done, Charlie. Charlie, you just spent a whole hour with Bob. How do you like that?
It's a pleasure, Bob. I'm willing to come here anytime, and it's a great show.
You're the best.
Yeah.
You're the best. Charlie Lombardi, Mayor of North Providence. And folks, thank you for spending an hour with Bob.